Hey, what's going on? Coach Jack Daniels at the Boxers Trainers Channel. And listen, man, I was on earlier, but I just didn't feel comfortable in bringing about the issues that are very important um, to the world, right? Boxing is one thing, but world opinion, worldview is definitely an opinion, especially when you are a part of that world. And I'm assuming that everybody in the chat today, shout out to the chat, shout out to Shit Was Said, take a good look at this subject, which I'm going to bring to the table. First, I'm going to go through this skit about this boxing, right? And then I'm going to I'm going to deep dive y'all into some politics about world events, right, about this so-called war on Iran that I believe is something that y'all need to hear, man. You know what I'm saying? This is something that I really believe that the world needs to hear. You know what I mean? While certain people endorse the behavior of Donald Trump, right, and gonna find what I am saying today um, bad, right? But it's not about what I say that's bad. It's about what I say that is right or wrong, right? And if you guys don't know by now that I believe in fact check, I believe in speaking the truth. You know what I mean? I believe that somebody has to stand up and represent that which is actual, that which is real, right? No uh, scenarios where it's motivated that things that come out of my mouth by money or um, power or none of that garbage, right? You know what I mean? As far as it pertains to boxing, as far as it pertains to the truth, you're gonna get it at the Boxers Trainers Channel. Contrary to the fact again that I know a lot of people are gonna be dissatisfied about what comes out of my mouth when I go to talking about Donald J. Trump and this administration and how Donald J. Trump continues to pull or attempts to pull the wool over the eyes of the American people and the world. But pump your brakes. Let's get to this boxing first, right? But if you've never been attracted to anything that I say, I'm telling you what I have to tell you today about the Trump administration is crazy. It's crazy, but it's something that you need to hear. I mean, let me say this. Again, I'm an older cat. I've been on the planet for 76 years, right? So what we see today, I've seen it 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? It's just a repetitious behavior of the way those that have money think and act to those of lesser stature. Us, the us's, the we's, the me's. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing new to me. So when I get to telling you that they constantly pull or attempt to pull wool over your eyes, and there's nothing that you try to do about it to stop them, right? My job will be satisfied because I will have delivered to you what, what should be natural, and you hear it every day, but you don't, the truth. Now, first of all, I've been talking about this, I don't know, I'm trying to label it, right? Because, no, this magnificent boxing card that uh, Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions is putting on, featuring Arnold Barbosa and see, I got to fact perpetrating fraud, Kenneth Jr., right? Kenneth Sims Jr. This is in the welterweight division, right? But I went through that all this week, talking about Arnold Barbosa and talking about Kenneth Smith, right? The welterweight division and how Oscar De La Hoya, right, is doing a fantastic job in creating these events, right, that are specifically nothing wrong with it. And this is not about racism. This is about the truth. You know what I see, right? And it's this vineyard, this event is often then, oftentimes than not, catered to the Mexican Americans. Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Oscar De La Hoya, do your thing, get your money, right? Because that's what this is about. That's what everything is about when it comes to the United States. It's about a dollar bill, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't getting a dollar bill, right, something is wrong with you. That's the mentality of the United States and those especially in charge, right? Those in power, right? I mean, this is actually not to me. Again, I'm 76 years old. I've been through this 3 or 4 times, right? I've seen at least 2 major wars. You know what I mean? So, and I have had to do an extensive amount of reading, historically speaking, right, about the history of this country, about the history of the world, right? So let's be perfectly clear. When I open my mouth and I say something to you, right, take it as the truth. You know what I mean? 'Cause let me say this. What the hell do I got time to be standing back, making up things to say to you and anybody else? I'm a grown ASS man. You know what I'm saying? Don't have time for the garbage. Don't have time for nobody that participates in garbage. And a lot of people that know me, they'll endorse that. They'll say, "Man, that man is serious. That man, he ain't playing." And I'm not. Well, I mean, man, look here, man. I did all the playing in my life when I was a young fool. You know what I'm saying? It took me until I was like, I want to say 45 years old before I came to the reality of the way that I was doing it didn't work. And the way that he do it, it works, right? And I put that mentality, that thought process into effect. I did that. The first year before I went through my metamorphosis, before I transitioned out of the darkness and into the light, right? You know what I'm saying? In 1 year, when I transitioned from being an idiot to, let me try this. I made $100,000 in the first year that I changed my thought process from out of the darkness and into the light, right? I mean, can you imagine somebody that don't know jack scratch about business, about how to preserve money, how that making $100,000 in 1 year impacted my thought process about the next $100,000 and the next $100,000? I mean, can you imagine that? Look, man, wake up and smell the coffee. If I did it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I did, it was kind of like, you really did that? I really did that, right? Short story, right? I want to say like 2007. I had been in a situation where I had put myself in a position where I owed society some time, and I did that time. And in 2007, I got out. I bought me an old raggedy 1978 Ford truck. Excuse me, GMC truck. Went to Home Depot and got me 2 um, plywood sheets and put them on both sides of the truck. Right. That first year, I had to find a way to make me some money legitimately. Right. So what I did was I started recycling televisions. Recycling televisions. I recycled televisions every day, at least 6 days a week, right? And I made something like the first time I recycled TVs, I made like $800 in about 3 hours, right? I loaded up that truck. All I did was travel to the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Apartment complexes, the days that what they had in California, it was the waste manager would have days that you could put all your bulk waste out on the sidewalk, and they would come by and pick it up for free, right? So I knew the days, right? I knew the waste management runs. I knew everything I need to know. So I did that for a year, every day, right? And the checks got bigger, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it was some was 3,000, to 2,700. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like, damn, what the hell was wrong with me all these years, right? I'm like 45 and 50 back then, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like, what the hell was wrong with me? You know what I mean? And so it got to the point where I was just having so much money, right? You know what I mean? Like I would come home and I'm serious. My pocket would be like full of money. And it just got to the point where I didn't even think illegitimately anymore. You know what I'm saying? It was all about using this, the same thing, the same tool that you have, right, to get me some money. And that's what I did. That's a long story short, right? And but I could go on and tell you what I did, you know what I'm saying, and how I live now, and which is all right. I ain't hungry. I don't ask nobody for nothing, right? And you know what I'm saying. And let me be an example to you. You ain't got to. Man, hey. Contrary to the fact that this system that we live in, which is the capitalist system, right, uses every means available to them to capitalize off you. You, right? You work your jobs, right? You buy their food, right? You buy their automobiles, right? You pay your gas and electric bills, right? It's nothing that you don't do to help them further their agenda. Eh, Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is, even in a capitalistic system, right, you can be a part of the capitalist way of thinking. Like I just proved you that I did, right? So you know what I mean. This is look, this program today is, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like something that I do every day. Wrestle with ways, right, to come on here and tell you guys stop being a damn fool, right? Find a way to better your own situation, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. They can't do a damn thing about that. If 100 to 200, a million, 3, 4 million people start finding a way to be creative enough to make their own survival instrument, their own means of support. You know what I mean? I mean, for me, I just don't have the people around me to institute all the thoughts that I have, right? Could you imagine, you know what I'm saying, how I would, based on the fact that the way that I think, right, would I send Bill Haney through with messages and stuff like that? Why are we trying this? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, I'd be absolutely serious, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like more to it than why don't we do this, right? You know what I'm saying? I understand that, but that, man, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. That is a terrible thing to waste. Anyway, let me kind of like get off a little bit from that part of the subject when it comes to politics and get through this box, and then I got you. I got you. Shout out to Bruce, Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. My main man. My main man. That's my boy, man. That's one of the people that I like. Right? So let's move on. Man, I am, you know what I'm saying, I've been in boxing for at least 40 years. 40 years I've been in boxing. And it's a little embarrassing for me to say, but I have to keep it 100 and tell the truth, right? This particular weight I didn't know exist. Actually, you know, I had heard about the yes sir, yes sir, brother, Bruce. I mean that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean that, brother. That's from the heart. We old veteran, old soldiers, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep pushing that agenda. You gotta keep doing. You gotta keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep doing what you're doing. I don't know. Maybe get out every now and then, take a brisk walk, stay healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I do something 3 times a week, right? I still different, you know what I mean? Still pump some weight. I ain't offering it up to you. I'm just saying that's what I do. And man, let me say this. Let me say this, Bruce. It makes me feel better. You know what I'm saying? And I look at cats my age and I'm like, damn, I need to keep doing something good, right? I need to keep being an example as well. You do too, right? And I know it's a little podcast, right? You got to cook it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. The name of the game is keep living. Keep living, man. Keep pushing and living until the creator tells you it's time to go. But until it's time to go, man, you gotta keep it. You gotta keep doing what you're doing. You gotta be fit, brother. You know what I mean? That's to all y'all, man. It's like, well, I don't want to do that. Yes, you need to, especially if you're our age, you need to. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, Bruce, I'm gonna see if I can send you this piece of information. It's a long read. Now, I don't. Did you send it to me? I wait a minute. I do. I might, but if I don't, send it to me again, and that way I get you my number. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Okay, got you. But let me get to this, right. This straw weight, man. These cats are what 108 pounds or something like that, right? Anyway, they got a straw weight event, a title event, right? And this Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy promotion event on Saturday, March the 14th, right? Golden Boy promotion is putting on another good one. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's exactly who I'm talking about. Oscar Collazo, right? Oscar Collazo is fighting Jose Haro, right? This is for the ring straw weight championship of the world, which features the WBO and the WBA. This straw weight is also called minimum weight. Minimum, yeah. Mini minimum, excuse me, mini minimum weight, right? I mean, I gotta see this, but I mean, to be that small, and especially if you got some skills, right? To be that small and have some agility and push around in the ring, I gotta see that, man. I gotta see that. You know what I'm saying? So actually, I'm to be 100 with you, right? And in fact, I still might. What's today's Thursday? If I can get, because I did put in for a whew, credentials. I did put in for a credential to be able to get to the Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions fight on the 14th. I put in the credentials to be able to get into the fight as a journalist, right? Now, every time I deal with Golden Boy Promotions, because I'm kind of like new with this. Yeah, man, I'm doing that too, Bruce. I'm trying to get my ass up in the street and get busy. I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm gonna do it, right? Contrary to the fact that without getting on this event or the next, I am going to start getting into these events. And my little old age is not going to impede on me being able to do the things that I need to do in life, right? That's what I'm saying. You gotta keep trying to move them arms. And, you know what I'm saying? You gotta keep on being healthy, man. But today is the last day. Cutoff will be the cutoff day for me because I be having to go through a lot of scenarios to be able to get there, get situated before the fight comes, and that's gonna take it. That's gonna take a little much, a little something, I should say, but not too much. If I can get it done today, I'm still gonna try it, right? So, but Collazo, Oscar Collazo, right, is 29 years of age. He's five. Ooh, these cats is little, 5'1". He has a 62.6 inch arm reach, left-handed, 13 wins, 10 by knockout, no losses, never been stopped, no draws. Right. This is a 12-round contest for the minimum weight, which is straw weight, for the WBO, the WBA, and the Ring Magazine belt, right? So look, this is again, this is one of plenty of good events that Oscar De La Hoya is presenting this Saturday. So I recommend that you guys, You know what I'm saying? Uh, get to that event, or is it? What is it? More than likely, it's a pay-per-view, right? I mean, y'all know what to do. If you can't afford it, you know what to do. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not advocating you do that, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you love sports like I do, you know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. You feel me? So that is a fight that I recommend. But here, look, I hadn't finished with y'all when it came to the politics. You know what I'm saying? I took the liberty of doing some research about this oil epidemic, or so-called epidemic, because actually what it is to me is a so-called epidemic, right? Look, this country is full of everything that it needs to sustain itself, I mean, for years, right? The oil reserve in this country, if it got to the point where we really need to use it, which we don't, right? But they will have you think that they do, that you do, right? I don't know why this country is so hell bent on stressing people out unnecessarily, right? To make, I mean, it's like a con game, right? Bait and switch, right? While they say one thing, and while they say one thing, they do another behind your back. That is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, why do they do that? The reason why they do that, to keep you off balance, to keep you stressed out while they do something else, right? While you get your blood pressure up, they doing something else. And this little article that I'm about to share with y'all reflects just what I said. Bait and switch. You know, and it ain't just this administration. You know, it's been administrations before me on my 76 years on the planet, right? So it's fair to say that I've seen this before, the bait and switch. You know what I mean? Why are we at war? Because the United States says that Iran is trying to compete for weapons of mass destruction. But let me say this: I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if it's not true. But I will say this: Iran says and has been continuously saying that they use atomic energy for resources, right? To power their country. That's what they say. They say they use the technology to create energy, right? But the United States is saying, "Oh hell no! They what the hell no? The hell no! They're creating weapons of mass destruction to be able to be in a position where they can shoot us down. What the hell would they? I mean, look, man. Do you actually know what the outcome would be if any of these players that have atomic bombs, if any one of these countries decided that they want to pull the trigger, you know what that amounts to? Theoretically, total annihilation. They're not going to tell you that. So the likeliness that a country is going to pull a weapon, pull the push the button to create mass destruction, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen, especially for the capitalist. He ain't trying to have nothing destroyed so he can't get no more money. That's pitiful, but it's the truth. That's pitiful. That's pitiful that he has that type of value on human life versus him not being in a position to get no more money. That's all Donald Trump talking about. It's a deal. Money. Money, money, money. I want some money. I want some damn money too, okay? But I don't want it that bad, man. I looked at them cats in that meeting yesterday, right? All 50 or 60 of it. It was like, they was all like, damn, we gotta get some little money. We gonna get some little money. And Donald Trump, though, they show this stupid ass, and we gonna get some more money. Damn, this is crazy. And it's really not funny, but what else can you do? You know what I mean? What else can you? And for you idiots that keep believing in Donald Trump and people with like-minded thought, right? Democrats or Republicans, I don't give a damn which one you privy to, right? I don't give a damn about neither one of them personally. You know what I'm saying? Nope, no, I don't care nothing about the Democrats. I don't care nothing about the Republicans, right? I believe in a world that everybody is treated equally, that everybody has the same amount of everything. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? Of course, you know what I'm saying? For those that don't believe like that, they have to be like, this MF is crazy. The thought of him uh, thinking it's okay for him to be on the same level as us. Us is we's, me's, you know what I'm saying? Us twos. Because that's all it amounts to when it comes to them with all this money. That's about, man, look at the major players in this world with all the money, man. The Elon Musks, and we ain't talking about the Donald Trump. They ain't got no money compared to these fools. You know what I'm saying? The Elon Musks, the handful of people that really, 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 really have a definitive impact on what goes on in the world that we live in. Right? I'm talking about them, right? I'm talking about the people behind the scene that you never see, you never know nothing about. They got people with more money than, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. A few got so much money. I mean, they got to do nothing. They don't have to do a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? But call shots. That's what this is about, calling shots. The money, the massing of money is about being in a position where you can call a shot, not on my country, but the world. Y'all better get some brains, get some, pump your brakes. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what I'm trying to tell you and start reading. Start paying more attention to what's happening in the world. Don't just go on with the Donald Trump gets on the air and tells you that all this garbage. Donald Trump is a moron. The stuff that he said is laughable. For a person with a brain, it's laughable. It's laughable. Chip, I actually don't think today is a good. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Bruce, about that. Fans get excited seeing a boxer that weigh 104 pounds. That is something to get you up for. But Chip, I don't think that's a good idea today. How's about if I don't get to Las Vegas, excuse me, LA, and I know when I go off the air, whether that's going to happen or not, whether I'll be able to do that today. I don't think today would be a good day though, right? I'm thinking more like tomorrow or the next day. But so let's not even try today. But because I'm gonna have to get off the thing and try to get to Los Angeles to this fight, cover this fight. But anyway, before I do that, I want to share the world because this is going to get passed around. I'm quite sure you guys will pass this around, right? I'm just going to read it out. Okay. Okay. This is really, really, really. I mean, it's a long read, but I'm going to get to. Okay, where's it start here? If the U.S. had to rely only on its emergency oil reserve, it would last. Listen to me when I tell you this. I want to say it again. Pay attention. If the United States had to rely only on its emergency oil reserve, it would last roughly 20 days of total U.S. consumption. Did you hear that? 20 days. Now, we're talking about, I think, 450 million gallons, no, excuse me, 450 million barrels of gas, no, of petrol, of gas, right? Already stored in a isolated location in Louisiana and Texas. Yes, Louisiana and Texas, right? It would last for 20 days. Now, think about that if you can. Think about that. They always spewing about the United States oil reserve, right? And how massive it is. And if something happened, we got you, right? That ain't true. They don't rely on that. They don't rely on that. They can't rely on that. 20 days. They can't rely on that. So, 20 days. But in reality, the United States would not run out of oil because it shall produce, it still produces a huge amount domestically and imports from many countries. The U.S. the U.S. Emergency Oil Reserve. The United States keeps oil in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve for war or major supply disruptions. Current amount about 450 million barrels in storage, stored in underground carbons in Texas and Louisiana. Maximum release rate about 4.4 million barrels per day. If the U.S. needed only the reserve to cover national demand, it would equal about 20 days of U.S. consumption. That's all that reserve would last if we had to rely on that 450 barrels of oil. It would only last 20 days, right? Could you think of not having no gas? That's not possible. That's not possible, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. We are never short on oil. So these fluctuating gas prices are doing that intentionally. They're doing that intentionally. Wake up. Here. Why the United States wouldn't run out of, again, why the United States wouldn't run out in a war. Even in a war with Iran, the United States wouldn't rely only on reserves. The United States also has domestic production. The United States is the largest oil producer in the world. Do I need to say that again? Imports from other allies, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Norway, others. Global reserves. The International Energy Agency can release hundreds of millions of barrels globally. The SPR is meant to buy time. We're talking about the reserve, not supply the country indefinitely. They don't really rely on that. I mean, that little what was 173 million barrels that they released so far. They said to keep the prices stable, but inadvertently the prices have started to soar. Even as they have allocated that 173 barrels, the price rate ratio has still elevated substantially. Now, that don't make sense. You put that 173 barrels of oil out there to stabilize the market, but the market is still excelling, going up. How is that logic? I mean, why would you do that and then the prices don't go down, they go up? You got to start figuring things out, people. You know what I'm saying? Think more about things that affect you instead of about what Sally and Billy and Bobby is doing at next door. You know what I'm saying? Start paying more attention to your surroundings. The SPR, which is the reserves, is meant to buy time, not supply the country indefinitely. It is mainly used to stabilize oil prices, prevent shortages, keep refineries running during crises. For example, the United States just announced 172 million barrels released to stabilize markets during the Iran conflict. See what I'm saying? Now they say they did that to stabilize the market, right? But when you stabilize it, it cuts off the rising of oil of gas and creates it leveling off. But again, gas lead is going up. I'm still keep reading and let you figure it out. U.S. emergency reserves alone 20 days of oil. The bottom line, U.S. emergency reserve only 20 days of oil. But the domestic production of allies, the U.S. can sustain oil supply for much longer during a war. I'm gonna do this piece and I'm gonna get about it. Why the Strait of Hormuz matters. About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through it each day. Roughly 7 to 20 million barrels of oil per day move through this single passage. Oil from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, and Iran go through it. If Iran tried to block it during war, global oil prices would spike immediately. How Iran could disrupt it. Iran doesn't need to permanently close the strait. Even temporary disruption could shock the market. Potential methods include Navy mines, which they're already doing that, in Navy mines and shipping lanes. Fast attack boats and drones, they're doing that. Anti-ship missiles from the coast, they're doing that. Harassing or seizing of takers, they haven't did that one. But anyway, at the end of the day, man, a lot of stuff that you're hearing that's affecting the market, right? It's really just a bunch of malarkey to have you think one way while they do something else. You know what I mean? All this I'm saying to you is to keep you on guard on what's really happening in the world and not just take for granted what comes out of a moron's mouth, which is the Trump administration, that is factual. Right? I am merely trying to, you know what I'm saying, get you guys to think. Don't believe everything that comes out of their mouth, man, because that's what you've been doing. That being said, hit the subscription button, hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section and give me your opinion on how you think this old man is doing trying to help the world. Later.